Yes. My name is Eddie Transcendent. This is the Connecticut Latin Soundtrack Podcast here on Top Station. And first of all, welcome everybody watching us on Facebook. We do appreciate the support and the love. As I say every week, thank you for always supporting us here. Last week's episode was great. Last week's episode was with Luis Burgos, right, Gina?
Yes.
Yes, Luis Burgos. It was a great episode. We talked about a lot of great things. So please, if you haven't checked out last week's episode, please scroll up on my page when you get a chance and definitely check it out. It was a great episode. We're up to close to 1,600 views. So please check it out. Show them some love. Show CDY some love. They're definitely doing great things here in Bridgeport, and I think it's very important that we keep showing them and supporting them as they're doing all this great work for us. So please take some time out and check them out. Gina, what's going on?
Nothing. Boot camp this week.
Boot camp?
Yes.
Beautiful. Guys, today I'm being accompanied by co-host Gina today again.
Once again.
I love having you as my co-host now. I think Danny B might be just like laid off. Like, you know what I mean? Like when he comes in, he might have to sit behind the camera for a little while and kind of like work his way in because you're pretty much in here, man.
I'm in here.
Danny B's, playing softball. All I know is he better be winning. Because if he's not winning, like, you know what I mean?
He better just be here.
But you know what? Because we're winning.
Oh, that's true.
The last soundtrack and Top Station, we're winning. So Danny, you better be winning, brother. Gina, I'm super excited. As you already know, we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
So please, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, thank you. Please check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to Top Station CT. So please go to YouTube, and on the search bar, look at Top Station CT and subscribe. And if you're watching us on YouTube right now, thank you for watching us on YouTube. We do appreciate the support on YouTube as well. So I'm very excited about that. But more importantly, I just came from a meeting a few minutes ago. Literally just came from a meeting. And now, I'm going to let you know and I'm going to let everybody know right now for the first time that we are officially now on iTunes and Google Play. Yes. iTunes and Google. So not only on iTunes and Google Play, but if you go to www.topstationct.com, you'll find our podcast on there as well. So far we have the episode with Rosa Flores is on Top Station CT, and please keep looking at Facebook, and I'll let you know when those episodes are officially on iTunes and Google Play. Guys, thank you for your support. We wouldn't be able to do this without all of you guys watching, so please take this time to kind of pat yourself in the back as I say thank you to all of you guys. You guys are doing a great job. So I'm super excited, because slowly but surely we're doing the things that we said we were gonna do, and it's great. We're gonna be able to get more exposure, and not only for us but for our guests, And I think it's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of great people doing great things here in Connecticut. Some of them you may know, like Joe, and some of them you may not know. And I think it's important for us to keep bringing them here to Top Station and letting you guys see and really take in the great things that are going on here within Connecticut. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. If you're watching right now, please share this video so other people can see what's going on. This is Top Station. This is the last soundtrack, where our mission is to uplift and showcase people doing great things in Connecticut, while also using that to inspire our youth to do the same thing and show our youth and tell them, listen, you can do anything you want to do. It doesn't matter where you come from, Bridgeport, New Haven, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you're willing to work hard and put in and have patience, a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience. It took patience for us to be on iTunes and Google Play, but we did it. So it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm excited, as you can tell, super excited. But without further ado, I want to introduce to everybody my guest for tonight. Like I always say every week, the one, because I feel like the one and the only, right? Yeah. So the one and only Joe Rodriguez is here.
Thank you for having me.
And I was gonna say Joseph, but he let me know.
Let's keep it informal.
He was like, let's do Joe, and I was like, all right, cool, we can do Joe. Joe, what's going on? How are you?
I'm great. It feels good to be in Bridgeport.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I feel like I was a part of this breaking news with you.
You were. No, I was super excited, man, because I want to get as much exposure as possible, not only for you but for everybody else. When you have Latinos doing great things, I think, and I don't want to go into the whole negative route, but I think too often we just tend to highlight so much negativity going on everywhere. We do it, the news does it, social media does it, we do it at home, or we're eating arroz con manduria, we're talking about, ¿qué hizo esto? But we don't say, yo, Joe hizo esto, that was so good, or Eddie did this. We just talk about the negative stuff, And so I want to be able for us to stay here and really showcase great people doing great things. I heard about you and the good things that you did, that you have done years ago, and even that came with a little bit of like, but this, and I was just like, come on, like don't do that, And so I made sure I took my time, I did my research, met you, I saw the things that you were doing, and I said, this guy, he's a good guy, and we should like applaud him, and we should showcase him. For those of you who know Joe, that you know the things that he's done and he's doing, but some of you don't. So we'll get into that in a little while. But how's your day today?
It's great, man. I was, out in Hartford, working. As you know, I work out in the senator's office as a deputy state director. So
Yes.
was out that way doing some work in the Hartford area.
Yes.
And then made my way back down this way to Bridgeport. And
Yes.
it's always good to be in Bridgeport.
No, it
I
is,
love
it is,
Bridgeport.
it is.
We have an office in Bridgeport too. So
Although August 11th, the good place to be will be in
Downtown New Haven.
In New Haven, yeah.
Downtown New Haven.
So please, guys, as you sit there and you watch these logos and these flyers going up in our background, you're gonna see the New Haven Festival, the New Haven Puerto Rican Festival flyer. Please make sure you support this great event in New Haven. Keep following me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll be posting up their flyer and they're great. They have an awesome video they just finished producing. We'll be posting that soon as well. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from New Haven?
Yeah, so I was raised in New Haven,
Okay.
on the east side of the city.
Were you born in New Haven?
I was born and raised in New Haven,
Okay.
East side of the city, what we call Fairhaven.
Okay.
So shout out to Fairhaven.
Yes,
and
Fairhaven,
everyone from
yes,
New
yes,
Haven. But yeah, I grew up in New Haven, product of the New Haven public school system.
Okay.
Low income family.
Father and mother
Father, mother.
at home?
Yeah, my father.
Good,
My
good.
father's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
My mother's Italian. A lot of folks
Really?
don't know because of the amount of work I do within the
Yeah.
Puerto Rican
Yeah.
community. A lot of folks don't know that
Yeah,
I'm
you-
actually Puerto Rican and Italian.
Yeah, you took me off guard. When we had a meeting yesterday, and when you told me that, I was like, wait, hold on, because I had like no idea. Not only because of the work that you do,
Yeah.
but just your appearance as well. Like, not that but you look like a straight, a straight Boricua, you know?
Yeah, no, listen, it's Boricua's in my heart, right?
Of course.
And a lot of my inspirations, sort of my influences in life growing up are attributed to a lot of Latino leaders, a lot of Puerto Rican leaders within
Of
the city
course.
of New Haven. But I'm Puerto Rican and Italian, so grew up with with the pasta, with the salsa, with the
Yeah.
bachata, with some
Yeah.
Italian music. So
That's a nice mix, though. That's a nice mix.
yeah, no, we had
Especially
it made for
dinner
some
time.
it made for some very loud dinners. Let me put it that
That's what I'm
way.
saying. Yeah, dinner time was definitely great. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
no, but I love my family, and I owe a lot to my family because they knew at a young age that I wanted to, as they said, change the world, right?
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
they knew that, they saw that in me, and they poured a lot into me. So
Did you know that though?
honestly, no, it's funny because my parents, my family, and teachers growing up in like middle school when I was involved in student government,
Yeah.
they say, oh, watch out for this kid, right? Watch
Yeah.
out for this young man, I said, listen, I always spoke truth to power,
Yeah.
right? Even back in middle school, high school, if it's student government, if it was a community meeting in New Haven, if I saw something that didn't make sense,
Yeah.
or I saw something I needed to change, I was the first one to say, all right, we need to do something.
Okay.
So I didn't see it as
And they started like in middle school?
yeah.
Wow,
I remember
okay.
I ran for student council president at Edgewood K through 8 middle school in New Haven. Shout out to Edgewood, it's still there.
Yes.
And from that point, being engaged in student government,
Okay.
and my
awesome.
parents exposing me to the different sounds and cultures in New Haven.
Okay.
At a very young age, I remember going to the Louisa Festival in Longworth, right?
Yes.
Everyone knew the Louisa Festival in Longworth,
Yes.
or the old Puerto Rican Day parades in New Haven.
Yes.
So I was exposed to that culture, right?
Yes.
That side of me
Of
at a
course.
very young age, which is I think why over the years I tended to gravitate towards that area because
Yes.
of the leaders that I got to know in New Haven, and because my parents exposed me to that culture,
course.
which was very vibrant in New Haven.
Yes.
Back in the day, right back in the '90s and 2000s, and it's still growing in New
Yes.
Haven, the Puerto Rican population. So.
So I don't know New Haven pretty much at all. I mean, I've been there maybe to, like when I go to New Haven, I'm going to a certain spot and I'm coming back, so I'm not hanging out in New Haven, I'm not walking around, driving around. So I don't know New Haven too well. In the area in which you grew up in, is it more of a suburb area? Is it more, what?
So it was low income,
Okay.
high population of Latinos.
Okay.
At the time, there was a large Puerto Rican population. I think now that has shifted to
Dominican?
not really Dominican. I think the last numbers I saw, there's certainly a heavy Ecuadorian population in New
Okay.
Haven now.
Okay.
We do have the Ecuadorian consulate in downtown New Haven.
Okay.
Guatemalan community.
Really?
Mexican community
Okay.
in New Haven. But growing up, it was certainly, at least on my block,
Yeah.
a heavy, minority presence,
Yes.
Puerto Rican, presence on my street as well. But definitely, low income,
Definitely.
just people trying to, make a living and support their families.
Well, with that also comes some of the negative things that we talk about, and so you say that a lot of your influences were towards the Puerto Rican culture, with your parents and everything, and you going to these events and everything. Now, was there anything else going on in the area in which you lived in, other than that? Because I mean, I'm sure it wasn't all like happy-go-lucky Puerto Ricans having a good time. Did you have a little bit of maybe crime or
Absolutely, I think the reason. So I was certainly exposed to it. Right?
Yeah.
My family, everyone
Okay.
growing up at the time was certainly exposed to it. But I think my family did a good job of trying to shield me from that. But when you walk to the bus stop,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because mom and dad aren't always there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember going to my bus stop was at the corner of Market and Main.
Yeah.
And a block away was a heavy, sort of drug area.
Punta, what they call it.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So I remember, growing up, seeing it right there in front of me, and I remember, one street over, seeing the drug bust and all that negativity happening.
And what was the thought process? Like, I gotta get away from that, or you wanted to figure out what was going on?
I think at the time, I recognized the neighborhood that I was growing up in.
Yeah.
Had its challenges.
Of course.
It'll be fun. It's not funny, but the ironic thing is, like, at being in middle school, walking to the bus stop, seeing that, you think you would sort of be afraid, and it honestly, it sort of just, it was like natural.
Yeah.
Which I know that's not,
I understand fully.
But it was like, I would walk to my grandmother's house, right? My grandmother lived about 2 blocks away from where we lived.
Yeah.
So I would have to walk down this street, which had a lot of drug activity, and I would dart that way and go to my grandmother's house, and so I think seeing that, and more importantly, seeing what was not happening on my street, right?
Yeah.
If it's the blighted property, the vacant property, the streets not being cleaned, I think that motivated me when I went to school, because my school was across town. So we talk about the difference between low-income neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I lived in a low-income neighborhood, but my school was across town in a heavy Jewish community at the time. And the crime there compared to the crime where I lived was sort of complete opposite.
Yeah.
So I think growing up and seeing the difference where my school was located, taking the bus there, coming back home, I sort of say, well, listen, if it's not good enough for this community, why should it be good enough for my community?
Yes.
So I think that motivated me and my family and those that I associated with to say, listen, we got to do more. We need to do more.
Were you an only child, or?
No, so I have a sister and a brother.
Older, younger?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Hi, Loriana. That's watching. It just, I will say this. We're all active in our own different way.
Yes.
We're all caring, right? Family is the foundation of my family and how we were taught. So we're all, real close knit. We're a close knit family.
Yeah, but growing up, was there a pressure of being a big brother, of kind of being like having set an example or being a role model for your little brother and little sister? Was there a pressure there at all?
Absolutely, especially because the income wasn't there, so we struggled financially at times. So I remember being 17 years old, trying to balance the books of graduating high school, working at Walgreens Photoshop. At 17, actually I was 18 years old, a senior, and a studio apartment opened up across the street from my parents' house.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, move out and stretch my wings. So I actually took that studio apartment across the street. I was 18. I was my first apartment. Box. It was a box. I mean, but it was mine, right? So, but I was, working, going to school. I had my own studio apartment when I was very young, and then I was still trying to do my part to support my mother and my family. Supporting my brother and sister. So I stretched that Walgreens check as much as I could for my house and to support my family when they needed me.
Did they definitely look up to you?
Absolutely.
Did you feel like they were?
As a father figure, I would think so. Till this day, I'm very close with my brother and sister, and You know, my sister knows if my sister, my brother, they all know if they need something.
Yeah.
You know, as they say, Joey's there.
Yeah.
Joey will be there.
I guess I'm looking at it as, you know, as a child coming up, you know, and you have that pressure. I mean, I don't know if your parents are telling you, you know, you have to be a good example for your brother and sister, or maybe just mentally inside of you, you're saying, man, I can't do bad. I gotta do right. I got my little brother and sister watching me. Like, you know, because I say that because I feel that sometimes, you know. I mean, I'm an adult, obviously, and my brothers are adults. Gina's father is my brother, and he's an adult, you know. Yeah. But still, I do things like right now. I do this show, and I'm thinking, like, I hope they see this as well and they understand, you know, just to do the right thing, you know, things like that. So, was that something you kind of had coming up, growing up?
Absolutely. You know, I think that's a pressure that most young men who have siblings experience, right? Especially if you're the oldest.
Yeah.
There's always sort of that level of you know, protecting, you know, your little sister, your little brother, and at the same time being a role model for them. So I certainly had that pressure and being that big brother that they could aspire to be, as well as, you know, recognizing the things we were dealing with in that particular community at the time and what we needed to do next. So,
no,
you know, absolutely.
Definitely. So okay, so you went to public school and public high school?
Yeah.
And so you're in high school now. You're doing your thing. Working at Walgreens, you know, whatever.
Walgreens, shout out to Walgreens.
Shout out to Walgreens. You know, and so that's going on. Is school on your mind? Is college on your mind? Is that a thing?
So college was certainly on my mind.
Okay.
You know, but at the time, you know, being around that age, you know, my train of thought was, you know, I had to work, right?
Yeah.
I had to support my family, and I also started getting very active with those festivals and those parades.
Yeah.
The folks that I started to meet during, you know, my network sessions, either through the school or just volunteer work after school. So I became I want to say about 19 years old, leaving high school.
Yeah.
I became very active. Like, I was a part of different, you know, social justice movements or rallies and working on campaigns. And so I spent a good 2 to 3 years right after high school just working. I didn't go straight to college. I just kept working, trying to build, you know, sort of my bank account, right? So I can support myself and my family. And then it wasn't until I started getting very active and working for a nonprofit at the time. The nonprofit was located in the Hill section, another low-income community in New Haven, and I was doing community work.
Yes.
So going back to what I said when I was in middle school, aspiring to make a difference, make a change.
Yes.
I ended up becoming a community organizer in my early 20s, working for a nonprofit organization in another low-income neighborhood. And they were, you know, it was a housing developer, right? So the non-for-profit housing development agency, they provided low-income families with affordable housing.
Yes.
There's other summer programs and other, you know, safety net programs that they promoted for that community. And my job was to help promote their work in that community and ensure that the community knew of the services that we were providing.
Yes.
So I did that, and I think that bug that I guess I had growing up really started to like itch, because once I started doing the grassroots work and getting paid for it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, you could actually make a difference, mobilize your community, and actually get paid to do it. And I think that's when I started realizing, you know, that I want to continue to do this. If I think I will do it regardless, right? Because I volunteer to this day with so many organizations.
Of course.
You know, but I think I would do it regardless. But you know, it was great to be young and to be paid and say, you know, this is what I want to do, and I can get paid for it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. So that was definitely a good way to find out. You know what I mean? Like, you went into it doing something that you love to do, that you've been thinking about your whole life, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And then to be able to get paid, that's. I mean, I think for me, that's part of the American dream, is to be able to do what you love to do and get paid for it. You know what I mean? So that's great that you find that at such a young age. I think that in itself is definitely a blessing. You know, because a lot of us, and I say us because even me, you know, I wasn't until I was 32, or 32 that I started doing this, and this is what I love to do. You know. And so some of us find out earlier, some of us find out later, but you find out at a young age, which is great. Yeah. So doing that's what kind of pushed you to go to school, like. So
that's exactly what it was. So to me, my career sort of had a quick jump start out the gate,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, I was so, motivated or so transfixed on, working and,
Yes.
and being being an adult, I guess.
Yeah.
That I literally had to like hit the pause button and say, listen, if I'm gonna continue in my career,
Yeah.
right? If I'm gonna take that grassroots job and being that community organizer and then change that to perhaps working in a government office or working for the private sector, I need to go to school.
Of course.
So, and it was my family and those individuals who I met within my community efforts
Yeah.
that said, listen, you're so bright, you're doing great work, you're smart,
Yeah.
but you're going to need that paper,
The
right?
paper, yeah.
That piece of paper.
Of
So,
course.
fast forward, that's why I ultimately, rolled into, I rolled into Albertus Magnus College,
Yeah.
for their criminal justice program. And I loved it. It's a small community. My middle school, my high school, is small community. And Albertus is a great, private Catholic college in New Haven. Shout out to Albertus Magnus. I'm just giving everyone a shout out today. So yeah, and I'm actually, I think I told you this when you and I met. I'm actually, currently at Albertus going for my master's degree.
Okay. That's definitely. So pretty much doing all that. That's what kind of, I guess, not inspired you because you already knew you wanted to go to school, but that kind of helped you out. I feel like in a way it was you kind of cheated a little bit, right? Because you were able to find it first, then go to school, as opposed to go to school and then try to find.
And I will say this, it's that route for a lot of people can be a difficult one.
Yes.
Because how many people do you know, or we know that they say, I want to take a year off. I want to take 2 years off to find myself.
Yes.
And then before they know it, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, they never go back. So
Yes.
it is certainly a difficult route.
Yeah.
But, for individuals who, are hardworking, committed,
Yes.
and are looking at the long-term plan,
Yes.
it's important.
No, definitely.
It's
No,
important,
definitely.
yeah.
And again, I think everybody's journey is different. I mean, we all have the same. The journey is different. But you're right, though. A lot of people do say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait a year. I'm gonna wait 2 years," and then it kind of never happens. For some people it's good. For some people it isn't. Personally, I can speak for myself. I'm 33 years old and I'm going out for my bachelor's degree. But I think the way that it happened, it was okay. Because I was able to do a lot of things in the middle and find out a lot about myself. And now I know that what I'm going for is exactly what I want to do.
Listen, as you know, the journey in life is not a clear set path.
No,
it's not a straight one way.
Yeah.
It's it curves, it's up and down, it's rocky.
Yes.
And to me, it's where you end that journey, right? It's not necessarily the beginning or the middle. It's where you're going.
Yeah.
So we may arrive or get there differently.
Yes.
But as long as the end goal is to succeed for you, your family, that's what we should aspire to go towards, right?
Definitely. And I just want to take some time out and just kind of thank everybody for watching on Facebook. We do appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys watching it. Please make sure you share this video as you're watching it now. We're hanging out here today with Joel Rodriguez.
Joe.
Gotta make sure we call him Joe.
Get it right.
We do appreciate the support. Please, if you're watching on Facebook right now, and again, for those watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. But if you're watching right now, if you have any questions for me or for Joe, please make sure you send those questions in and we'll read them live. Or even if you have comments, please make sure you send them in and we'll definitely answer those live. We're good over there?
Yeah, it's just.
It flipped?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, thank you. If you're watching on Facebook and the camera flipped, we do apologize. In any event, it's all good. It's a beautiful thing. So at about what age did you end up going back to school?
I will have to be 20, 24.
Okay.
24, 25.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad.
24, 25.
I mean, well, yeah. So we're looking at almost like 6 years, 6, 7 years that you took off before you actually went back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but when you went back, you were working, so you kind of just did it when you were working.
I always maintained a job.
Okay.
Unfortunately, given my family's financial situation, I had to pull out like everyone, right? So many loans and
yes.
But between school loans and working and scholarships, I try to do my part like I'm currently doing. I'm to this day I'm balancing
No,
school
definitely.
and everything
Well,
else.
were you able to go full time, or you kind of just did a couple courses here and there?
Couple of courses, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's difficult when you're because through all of this, I still remain very active in my community. Right?
Okay.
If it was a Puerto Rican parade, state parade at the time, if it was the New Haven Puerto Rican parade,
Yes.
if it was running for office at a very young age in New Haven,
Yes.
I continued to be active because that was a bug that I just couldn't get rid of. Like I really enjoyed tackling problems and people coming to you and how can we resolve this collectively and some of my closest friends to this day are people that I met through my community work.
No, definitely. And you mentioned the state Puerto Rican parade a couple times, so that leads me to believe that you're definitely a little older than I am. I mean, you look super young.
Yeah.
And initially I thought maybe we were the same age.
I just started around that time. But I'm also, I'll be 32 too as well. So we're on the same. I was, believe it or not, I was 16, if I'm not mistaken, 16 years old, volunteering with Gladys Rivera and Maritza Rosa and Nelson Cruz.
Yes.
The folks that we stand on their shoulders when it comes to the parades back in the 90s to 2000s. But I was 16 years old volunteering.
When you started, but how old are you now?
When I started. So right now I'm 32. I'll be 32.
You really are?
Yeah, I swear now. Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. No.
I'm joking, man.
No. That was the truth.
Pull out my ID and everything.
So you started going to school. At what point do you start working your current employment?
So I've been with Senator Blumenthal since 2011.
Okay.
So
7 years?
Well, 7 years
wow.
now.
Okay.
It was excuse me.
Not yet.
I was very active in my community still. I was working for that nonprofit that we just talked about.
Yes.
I was volunteering for the Puerto Rican Parade in New Haven, and I loved it. But we had a little baby on the way.
Okay.
Around that time. So, and if everyone, knows nonprofits do great work within our community. But as you know, they typically do more with less.
Yes.
So, I wasn't making a whole lot of money working for the nonprofit doing community work. And, that sort of opened my eyes to, all right, I really do need to finish school. I really do need to look at alternative careers because I had a daughter on the way.
Yeah.
Gracias a Dios, she's 7 now, turning 8, and we're doing really well as a family. But I think that also, right? You talk about what inspires you. A child certainly does that.
No,
so.
definitely. But and that's a good point that I probably should have covered a little while ago, but I cover it now. What who inspired you growing up? I mean, obviously your parents inspired you.
Yeah.
But did they inspire you through words or through their actions, to what they were doing?
So I think what my parents instilled in me was a strong work ethic. My father worked tirelessly. If it was in between jobs, he worked tirelessly to make sure he provided for his kids.
Yeah.
Just like my mother, they both instilled that work ethic in me. Right. If it was my dad taking extra hours at a job because I wanted to travel for some conference, but I didn't have the money, he would take extra hours at work so that I had, the means to go on that trip.
Yes.
Or I needed that new suit because I was going to a meeting. So I think that work ethic is what they instilled in me.
Yeah.
And then through that, meeting local leaders.
Yes.
One in particular. May he rest in peace, was the late state representative John Martinez.
Okay.
He was one of the first leaders at the state capitol, Puerto Rican, very active in New Haven. Here I am, young, growing up in New Haven. I see a Puerto Rican, elected official. From there, I meet folks like Representative Juan Candelaria, who's now the deputy speaker over at the Capitol in Hartford. The first Puerto Rican, I may add, as deputy speaker. I gotta point that out. First Puerto Rican to become deputy speaker at the state capitol. I met him at a very early age, volunteering in New Haven, and to this day, he and I are, close, very close friends.
Yes.
Very close friends. So, John Martinez, Juan Candelaria, folks like Maritza Rosa, Tomas Reyes, Norma Rodriguez Reyes, Guadavoz Hispana. These are the leaders that are still active today.
Yeah.
That I first met growing up in New Haven. So.
And who in some way or another inspired you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And they still inspire me every single day in their work. So.
Yeah, definitely. So okay, so then obviously you were doing what you love to do, which is work with the community. But then you kind of figured out, look, like this is great. I love to do it, but I'm building a family. Not building, but we're getting a family together at the house.
Yeah.
Were you married at the time already or no?
No, I was in a relationship.
You were in a relationship, okay.
Yeah.
And so you have your daughter, and you figured, listen, I have to go back to school. So I mean, needless to say, you were gonna go to school regardless. Like it was there.
I think I always, absolutely.
Yeah.
To me, it was a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. It was there was a timing thing. Yeah. So,
exactly.
but when it happened, and you finally went, and it definitely helped you to get the job that you have now.
Absolutely, I think that, and equally important, my involvement in the community.
Yes.
Right. I think the senator, ran for office back in 2010. And at that stage, if I remember back, I was active with a group called the Connecticut Hispanic Democratic Caucus.
Okay.
It was a statewide group of Latino political leaders who wanted to see more Latinos at the table when decisions were being made. So I was doing that. I was still active in New Haven. So it was through those leaders that I mentioned, right, and my networking and working at political campaigns that I was luckily enough to come across the senator's campaign. And they saw my work ethic, and I got a phone call saying, hey, you're doing great organizing in New Haven, you're doing great work with the Connecticut Hispanic Democratic Caucus, would you be interested in joining us to do what you're doing before the senator? So I'm like, this is, I can't, I swear it's like I've been so fortunate because every stage of my life, right, as I think, okay, I'm about to have a baby, this job's not kicking in, what's going to happen next? And then I get the phone call to work for a senator. So it's like I've been blessed that, this is one opportunity after another. So needless to say, I obviously took that opportunity. And I've been working for the senator off and on for the last 7 years.
I mean, I would definitely agree that you've been very fortunate, but needless to say, these fortunate things that have happened to you have only happened because of your hard work, And
hard work, and I want to say this, especially for the young listeners. Hard work. Networking is key. I can't underestimate the importance of networking, right? Meeting someone in the eye, give them a firm handshake, introducing yourself, that's important. But the other part of it is surrounding yourself with positive people. Despite the challenges of growing up in a low-income community, right, that had issues with drugs, I surrounded myself with positive people. If it's family, if it's friends, community leaders, I refused to allow negative people or even my own mistakes growing up, because we all make mistakes, right? But I refuse to allow those mistakes, the negative people in my life, to define who I am and where I'm going. So I always made it a point to surround myself with positive people to this day, and that's key. Surrounding yourself with a positive support system is key.
No, definitely. And I guess the reason why I bring that up is because too often we get stuck in this mindset where we think well, George just got lucky. George just happened to be at the right time at the right place at the right time. And granted, to a certain extent, that is true. You were at the right place at the right time, but you were there because you were putting in the work. So all these things you just mentioned, the networking, the surrounding yourself with positive people, the working hard, doing the things that you love to do, and these things made you fortunate enough to have somebody ask you to come and do what you were doing at the Capitol, are things that happen because of your hard work, And the reason I bring it up, is for the youth, so that they may hopefully understand that as I always say, luck doesn't really happen. I mean, you create your own luck, but it doesn't happen just drastically. De la noche a la mañana. You have to actually put the work in.
It's what you make out of it.
And put yourself in a predicament to where these good things may happen to you, and then sure you can say you were lucky, but in all reality, no, the things you did led you to where you are now. So that and that's good to know. And again, I just say that because again, people will watch this video. They'll listen to this podcast later on, and they may say, "Oh, this guy's 32 years old and he's doing all these great things. Oh, he probably just got lucky. Maybe his dad knew somebody or his mom."
Yeah.
No, it's hard work that went into it. Hard work, really, blood, sweat, and tears going into things, and then people seeing that and that taking you to one another level, which is the reason why you're here. And from a Latino to a Latino, thank you for everything you do, because hopefully the youth can see that and really take something out of it. I know I will. I hope Gina does, and just because I just want people to really understand that. But going off track a little bit, let's talk about your involvement with the New Haven Puerto Rican Festival.
Yeah, so I was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I had nothing else to do, right? I'm working in the senator's office.
Yeah.
I'm working on different boards and commissions and working on campaigns. But despite all that, about 4 years ago, I said, you know what? We need to have a Puerto Rican festival. We need to relaunch a Puerto Rican festival.
Because it was there, right?
Yeah, the parade and the festival since the 1980s.
Yeah.
We had a parade and festival in downtown New Haven from the 1980s, and then the last parade we had was back in 2009.
Okay.
The committee folded, and for whatever reason, and then from 2009 to roughly 3 years ago, we didn't have a sort of a go-to Puerto Rican festival. We had the Loíza Festival, which is certainly it's a Puerto Rican festival on Longworth, and it embraced the three the three cultures of what makes us, right?
Of course.
The Taino, the African, and the Spaniard, right? So European and all that. So we wanted to do something in downtown New Haven. We felt that the Puerto Ricans have such deep ties in New Haven, and that our story was only beginning, that we had to relaunch a festival.
Okay.
So I got together with about 14 other professionals, some that this was new to them, and others that have worked in parades in the past. And I said, listen, we've been told from our community they want to see it happen.
Yes.
So as a leader, I'm convening everyone, and I'm saying to you, if this is what you want to do, I'm in.
Yes.
But if I'm all in, you all have to be all in.
Yes, definitely.
And from that meeting, which had 14 people, till now, we're going into our third year of the Puerto Rican Festival of New Haven.
Beautiful.
Third year, August 11th, downtown New Haven.
Yes.
1 to 9.
Yes. And depending on when you're watching or listening to this, if it's not 2018, please look forward to the next Puerto Rican Festival, because it's gonna keep going.
Absolutely, we're not stopping.
So please, if it's not 2018 when you're listening to this, whatever year it is, make sure you look forward to the Puerto Rican Festival in New Haven. And then to talk a little bit about the festival, for those of you who may be thinking about attending, like myself, let's talk a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Yeah, so it's a traditional, Puerto Rican festival, comida, música, todo.
Yes.
So, we start at 1 o'clock, Saturday, August 11th.
Yes.
Again, we'll have food trucks in a wide range of cuisine, not just Puerto Rican food.
Okay.
We'll have barbecue, we'll have Mexican food trucks. It's a wide range of food. We'll have activities for children. The fire department will be out there with the smokehouse.
Wait, so you guys have all food trucks there?
So
my question is, are they gonna be any food trucks left over there on off the highway? You know how
we're poaching, we're trying. We've been working the Longworth area off the highway to try to get some of the food trucks. And it's funny because some of those food trucks in year one that they didn't want to participate because they were doing really well financially during their at their space are actually now coming.
Nice.
Because they see us growing and we're bringing the crowd. So but no, we'll definitely have a large piece of the food will be Puerto Rican, but there'll definitely be a large variety of different cultures and all that there. And then family activities, and then of course the music.
Definitely.
We start hard at 2 o'clock with music on the stage. And I mean, we have everything. Música típica, salsa, merengue, bomba y plena, reggaeton. So it's going to be a day filled of music.
Do you guys have anything? I looked at the flyer real briefly. I didn't really examine it. Do you guys have anything, for kids or anything like that?
So we have the fire department is our partner.
Okay.
And they bring a smokehouse.
Okay.
So we'll have the smokehouse there, a fire truck. We'll have other activities. Last year we had sort of kids center.
Yes.
So we're still working out those particulars, but there'll definitely be activities
for the kids.
For the kids.
So
yeah.
so anybody who wants to head over to the Puerto Rican Festival over in New Haven, come over, and you don't have to find a babysitter. Just bring the kids with you,
Bring
and
the
they
kids,
can have a good time
absolutely.
and definitely enjoy themselves over in New Haven. The third year in a row.
Third year,
So
yeah.
and it's growing.
Continues to grow. I think police estimated 10,000 last year.
Oh my, okay.
10,000
Okay,
last
yeah.
year, and this year we're continuing to grow with our partners, with our sponsors.
Definitely.
NBC Telemundo, Juniper, Sanitas, Cricket
Yes.
Wireless. These sponsors are helping us bring this festival
Definitely.
to the New Haven community.
Definitely.
Did you hear who's headlining this year?
Who is?
Ascarito,
There
the
you
Mas
go.
Loco from Puerto Rico.
There you go.
One of the original brothers of Grupo Mania.
Oh,
and then
really?
A lot of people don't know that. So
Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah,
No.
he does one of the
Now you got
Serrano.
my attention.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's one of the Serrano brothers that
Okay.
helped start the Grupo Mania.
Okay.
And he went on to do his own career in merengue, and
Yeah.
he just brings. If no one has seen this man's performance, go to YouTube.
So is he merengue? He does merengue?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm so happy. You know what? I'm so happy you're doing this. That you guys are doing this because for whatever reason we tend to think like if it's Puerto Rican, it needs to be salsa. It has to be salsa. It needs to be música típica, and that's fine. But a lot of people, I don't know if they don't understand or if they just fail to really like put any attention to the fact that there's a lot of merengue coming from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
and Grupo
absolutely.
Mania is from Puerto Rico.
No, absolutely.
And I can think of a couple that off the top of my head I can't, but there's a couple of other great merengue groups that are from I think La Máquina is from Puerto Rico, and so a lot of great merengue come from Puerto Rico. So please head over to the festival. This is some merengue over there.
Yeah, no, he's headlining, and since we're in Bridgeport, I gotta give a shout out to Grupo Afinque, right? So Afinque is performing.
Definitely.
I know they're Bridgeport Pride and Joy. And
Yes, definitely.
They're definitely popular within the salsa scene.
Oh no, they really are. I had Sammy on my show a few months ago. Sammy is one of the main members over there. So and they're definitely doing great things in Bridgeport. So please go check out Afinque on August 11th. You guys have Agua para Chocolate.
Yeah. When Bomba y Plana, Música Típica.
It's gonna be a great night. Now, if anybody wants to find out information about the festival, not necessarily who's gonna be in it, but maybe if they want to sponsor, they want to help out. Is there a website or?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in food vending or selling items or learning more, you can call 203-887-9238. 203-887-9238. That's the best way to get all the information.
Definitely. On YouTube, it'll be at the bottom as soon as we edit everything. Do you guys have a website? No.
No, so we're very active on Facebook, social media right now.
Sure.
It's blowing up on social media. So it's PRU, Puerto Rican Festival of New Haven. PRU, Puerto Rican Festival of New Haven. I think we're up to about 7,000 people that have said they're attending or are going. So we're expecting a good turnout.
And this is a free event.
Free event.
Okay.
Someone asked to talk about parking because they got a ticket last year.
Oh no! I'm sorry. So there's definitely going to be off-street parking, which I know is difficult because a lot of folks go downtown. But we'll be posting a list of parking lots in the area. Last year we actually had a parking garage provide parking all day at a reduced rate. So it wasn't free, but normally you would pay $15 to $20. I think they were charging folks $7 for the entire day. So we'll be posting parking options, parking garages, parking lot options. But again, it's a free event. $7 to park. That's not too bad.
So please, if you haven't done so already, please go over to PRU, Puerto Rican Festival. Puerto Rican Festival, and like their page, and that way you can keep up to date with everything they have going on. Are you guys on Instagram or no?
We are on Instagram. Don't ask me what that account is.
Well, if you guys are on social media, you know how to find me. Go over to Instagram and check them out. And if you got a problem with the parking, get there early. You got temprano. Get there early. Don't get there so late, and you get great parking. No, definitely. So and if you guys if you want any more information, please go over to PRU. Puerto Rican Festival and check out everything they have going on over there.
It goes on 203-887-9238.
There you go. Give them a call personally. Let them know what you got going on. And let's get right into the Puerto Rican agenda. By the way, PRU, is that Puerto Ricans United?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the Puerto Rican agenda. I wanna, I may be wrong, but I wanna assume that I don't think a lot of us know enough about the Puerto Rican agenda.
Yeah, no, it's it's a new initiative. It's a new coalition.
Yes.
The National Puerto Rican Agenda was created about 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, and it started out with a national call to Puerto Rican leaders
Yes.
to convene in New York City,
Definitely.
so that we can mobilize and organize our community surrounding at the time, the economic crisis in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
So we went to New York. We had about 200 Puerto Ricans from all walks of life, from educators, elected officials, community leaders, congressmen. It was a wide range of individuals. And we went and we sat down and said, listen, we need to do something. We cannot sit idly as our community, as our island continues to struggle financially.
Yes.
So we decided to create a massive network, what we call, the Puerto Rican diaspora here in the mainland.
Yeah.
And that network has since sparked so many state chapters and folks doing the work in their respective states. So, from Miami to Holyoke, Springfield, Boston,
Wow.
Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, New Jersey, and of course here in Connecticut.
Yes.
Puerto Ricans are all working on behalf of the National Puerto Rican Agenda to continue to educate our community on the issues surrounding the island, both
Definitely.
economically, and now all that's going on, with Hurricane Maria, the
Yes.
rebuilding efforts.
Yes.
So we're very active, and about a year ago we launched the Connecticut Puerto Rican Agenda.
I remember. Yes. Yes. I remember.
So,
Yes.
and again, that was simply, the folks from Connecticut who were traveling to the other states
Yeah.
to go to these seminars and the summits. We came back to Connecticut and said, listen, okay, how can we channel this energy, channel this knowledge, right? We're learning
Yes.
all this information about the history of impacting our island. Some of it has to do with the relationship between the United States of America and our island.
Of course.
But we were gaining this knowledge, and so we need to do something.
Yeah.
So we created the Connecticut Puerto Rican Agenda last year. We convened in New Haven. We had about 100 Puerto Ricans from Connecticut
Nice.
come together in New Haven and say, listen, here are the issues impacting our people in Connecticut, and this is how it impacts our people in Puerto Rico and vice versa.
Yes.
And what can we do to mobilize folks in Connecticut? And from that point till now, the Connecticut Agenda, through its board of directors and members,
Yes.
and their chairman, Jason Ortiz, has been doing amazing work across Connecticut to mobilize our community.
Definitely. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information that's being talked about in these meetings with these great, individuals from Connecticut, and even in the national agenda.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about great things, and that's great. It's a beautiful thing. But how do regular people, me, Gina, how do we get to find out about this information?
And I gotta say, this is why
without having to go to a meeting. If I'm
Yeah.
home, how can I find out about this information?
absolutely, and which is why I admire what's happening with the Connecticut Puerto Rican Agenda, because you can be involved with the agenda in so many ways. Right?
Yes.
You don't have to be a board member.
Yeah.
Some people like going to meetings and like to be a part of the planning process.
Of course.
You got other folks that tell me what I need to do and I'll do it.
Yes.
So if you go to ctpuertoricanagenda.com,
Okay.
if you visit them, CT Puerto Rican Agenda on Facebook, and receive their newsletters and receive their emails, they're constantly sending out action alerts.
Okay.
So they're sending out, listen, there's a bill in the House that's going to impact our people. I need you to make a phone call.
Okay.
We're having a rally in Hartford to fight back this or that. I
Yes.
need you to join me.
So the information is there. We
So
just
the
have to.
information is there. I
Yeah.
think where we're lacking is disseminating that information so that it reaches, folks across Connecticut.
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing our part, but I recognize that our network to a certain extent are people perhaps already active.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what
exactly,
I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to do a better job, and we're attempting to do this through social media
Definitely.
and the news outlets.
Yes.
We're trying to reach everyone, right?
Yes.
A Boricua on East Main Street, Grand Avenue in New Haven,
Of
or
course.
Park Street in Hartford.
Yes.
We're trying to make sure that the word is spread through everywhere, and we're
Yes.
seeing it. We're starting to see new blood new folks come to some of our meetings, come to some of our events.
Of course.
But we can definitely do a better job at that, and that's why talking about it today on your radio station
of course.
And getting people to go to CT Puerto Rican Agenda's website, I think is important.
I think that unfortunately, I think laziness kind of kicks in, and we don't want to. We don't want to go to a website, we don't want to click open on the email. We want to just delete it, because whatever, So it's tough because we have to find other avenues. Like for me, I would advise just, if you have a Facebook page, I would say just put things up, informational things that kind of just pop up. So when people are scrolling down, it just pops up. They see it. Hopefully they'll read it, because what happens too often is, people know what they're looking for, and so they look for what they're looking for, and then that's it. If something else comes in that they have to open, then that's too much work for them to do. And that's something we could probably talk about later on. I'm all about all the marketing and social media and really finding ways to get in before people's eyes, like, you know what I mean, without really without them having to do work, kind of just put it there and they see it, And but at the same time, we have to make the effort. Puerto Rican, not just Puerto Ricans, but people in these communities, we have to make the effort to just go out there and check out these websites, check out these Facebook pages, and see the information that's there. Because the information is there. It's just a matter of us going out there and getting it.
You're right. I tell people all the time in my official capacity, working in the senator's office, or just Joe, the community organizer. We are the change that we seek to see.
Yes.
We can't sit idly on the sideline when hoping others will make a difference for us.
Yes.
We need to step up.
Definitely. Especially
our community. We need to step up and say, you know what, I'm going to play a part in where my community goes.
Exactly.
So we need your help. The call's out there. CTPuertoRicanAgenda.com.
Please, listen, if you guys are watching right now, I don't care if you're 12 years old or if you're 65 years old, if you feel like you want to help, if you feel like you want to play a bigger role in your community, whether it's just with Latinos, just with Puerto Ricans, or just in the community in general, there are ways to do it, and this is one of them. You can help the Connecticut Puerto Rican Agenda. If you're more into festivals and having a good time, maybe you could reach out to Joe and get involved with the Puerto Rican Festival in New Haven. I mean, or if you're in Bridgeport, there's plenty of things that we could do. It's just a matter of going out there and doing them, and really putting yourself in a position to help. But at the same time, for those leaders out there, there's leaders out there who are leading these organizations. Please allow people to come in and allow people to work and to really be able to help you out. I think it's so important if you have somebody come in. A lot of these organizations, as you already know, Joe, are all volunteer based. Nobody's getting paid,
Absolutely.
And so to watch somebody come in through the door is a blessing. Somebody saying, "Yo, quiero ayudar, I want to help," that's a blessing. So I think as a leader, you're a leader. I'm a leader in some aspects of my life. I think it's our job to figure out, okay, Joe wants to help. What's the best thing that Joe could do? What is Joe good at? And let's put him in a position to win. Because if he wins, we win.
Absolutely.
If he's happy, we're happy. If he's happy, he's gonna volunteer for a longer period of time. He's gonna help us out, and we're gonna grow.
Absolutely.
And so I think as leaders, we also have to be conscious of what we're doing with our volunteers and making sure that we put them in the best position to win. Because, as I always say, do what you do, don't do what you don't do. And so you want your people to do what they like to do so that, we could get the ball rolling. I think too often we expect too much of people, or we ask them to do things that they don't really want to do. And so they're like, no, I want to help, but I don't want to do that. I want to cook, or I want to be on a stage committee, or whatever it is, or I'm a good writer, so I want to, or at the same time, if somebody's good at something, it doesn't mean that they want to do that.
Listen, and
so
that is all very true. And then another part of it is, and I'll say it, sometimes we are our own worst enemies.
Of course.
We see these young folks come in and we, feel that they're a threat.
Yeah.
Right? So people start to hold their organization close to their chest.
Yes.
Because they don't want to give it up. And in reality, here are individuals that are walking into your life to help.
Yes.
To help build this organization.
Definitely.
So we got to remember that.
Of course.
That there's folks out there that truly want to help, and we as a community need to start thinking more broadly and working together collectively.
Definitely.
So
definitely, and as strong leaders, we have to take our leadership skills and pass them on to these young leaders, and show them the right and show them the wrong too. They need to be smacked around and show them, right, that's not how you do things. How you do things, rather than pushing them away, bring them closer and show them what they're doing wrong and how they can fix it. And I can talk about that all day. Seriously, man. I love that stuff, man. But in any event, I'm happy about everything that you're doing. Again, what's the website for the agenda?
CTPuertoRicanAgenda.com.
So please, guys, go check out the website. They're doing great things. Not only in Connecticut. Now, is there a website for the national?
NPRA.com. Yep. NationalPuertoRicanAgenda.com.
But that's super easy. NPRA.com.
Yep.
So go ahead.
If you can't find it, you can Google National Puerto Rican Agenda, and it's right there. But I believe it's NPRA. .com. And this interview is timely because Saturday,
Yes.
so 2 more days, we'll have about 200 Puerto Ricans convening in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
for the National Puerto Rican Agenda,
Okay.
as we shape up what's going to happen in the forthcoming months. So I'll be traveling to Philadelphia
Beautiful.
with a few other Puerto Ricans.
If you have any information that you can send me that I can post, and I'll definitely do that tomorrow for you guys. So you guys can check it out in case you're interested. Maybe it's too soon for you to go to Philadelphia, but just so you kind of know what's going on and kind of get yourself in there. Joe, I know your time is very precious, and I know you got things to do. But before we let you go, there's a few things that I like to do with all of my guests. So I'm gonna try to kind of throw you a little curveball here real quick. This is the Lion soundtrack. I feel like the Lion soundtrack is each show is my guest soundtrack of their life. So today's show is Joe's soundtrack. You know, you grew up in New Haven, public school system, worked hard. Dad was a super hard worker. You were a big brother. You were a great role model for your brothers. You saw negative things going on in your neighborhood, but still you took that and you took the positive out of it. You said, what can I do to stop that from happening? You know, as opposed to saying, let me go hang out with those guys and gangbang or whatever it was. You know, and then you didn't go straight to college. You hung out for a little while and you really got to taste the world. You know, I always say, how can you know what your favorite food is if you don't try different dishes?
Yeah.
You know, and so you tried different things, and you kind of saw, you know what, this is what I like to do, and you took it, you ran with it, and now you're doing a lot of great things in our community, which I thank you, and I'm sure a lot of people watching and listening thank you as well. But I want to get a little personal, but kind of on a fun tip, and I want to ask Joe, what's your favorite Latin song? And this is a Latin song that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. It doesn't matter. When it comes on, it like makes you want to, okay, yeah, this is my song right here. Una canción latina, whatever.
Old school or like something popping now?
Right now. If it comes on right now, you're ready to go.
I'm about to walk up.
Because you drive a lot.
So right now, hay uno de Victor Manuel and Faruco.
And Faruco, yes.
That's one song where if I'm on the phone with you in the car, I will hang up on you in the car to turn up the music.
Definitely. No, that's definitely a good song. What's your favorite Latin dish? And from where? Whether mom cooks it or you got it at a special restaurant that makes it the best.
Yeah, no, good question. So it has to be mom's.
Okay.
My mother and father are great
job.
cooks. Yeah. You know, I'm simple. I love me some arroz blanco con habichuelas, some good beans.
Oh my God, yes.
Some carne frita.
There you go.
You know, that's probably mine. Like if I get a call, hey, I'm cooking white rice, beans, right? Some carne frita. That's it right there. That's
no, listen, you made a great point because some good beans.
With some pique on the side.
I don't think I've had some good like beans in a while. Some good cooked rice. I'm like, it's so the how amazing some good beans on some rice is with the gravy and they say it just.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. No, but that's great, man. And again, I just want to kind of let people know who you are, man. You're a regular guy, man.
Absolutely.
And you love your home cooked meals. And that's great. Mom cooks or dad cooks or both?
They both cook.
But who's
the? Really?
Come on. Who throws down?
They both throw down.
Okay.
But I gotta say, you know, my father at times, when he channels that inner Boricua, he could throw down.
Definitely. Before I go into my next and final question, I want to ask you, Jenna, are there any questions, any comments for Joe that we want to read on the air?
Let me find a good one.
Again, guys, thank you for watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, we do appreciate the support. For those of you listening on iTunes and Google Play, we do appreciate the support. And please subscribe so you can keep listening to our great shows here at Top Station.
Nairobi Guma.
Nairobi, yeah.
Yes.
She's tuning in from Puerto Rico. Yeah.
She said hi to all and blessings. I don't know if you have someone in PR helping you, but I would like to help you if I can.
Okay, so Nairobi is a good old friend, not old, but a friend from a long time. No. But she lives in Puerto Rico. She tunes in every week. She's one of our biggest, you know. And I guess she's asking you if you need any help from Puerto Rico, then you can definitely reach out to her. And so what I'll do is once we get done here, I'll tag you, I'll tag her name or whatever, and you guys can kind of
share my information. I know through the Puerto Rican Festival and through New Haven for Puerto Rico, We raised $130,000 for Puerto Rico for the relief efforts, and sent over 4 shipments of containers, and so we were actively involved with folks on the ground in Puerto Rico, and working with a lot of grassroots groups in Puerto Rico to advocate for the island, because this initiative cannot just be the Puerto Ricans here on the mainland. We need the Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico to feel that they have a voice and to work with their brothers and sisters in the mainland to do this together. So I will definitely take you up on that offer.
Definitely. So not only I'll tag you later on tonight, and we'll make that happen. And I just want to take this time now to give a shout out to everybody watching in Puerto Rico. If you're watching from Florida, we have viewers in Florida. Down south here in Connecticut, whether you're in Richmond, New Haven, Hartford area, New Britain. Thank you to everybody who's watching right now live, and please continue to share this video. Gina, any more questions or comments?
Everybody just supporting and laughing.
Supporting and laughing?
Yeah.
they're laughing because Dad is the cook at the house.
Yeah.
Mom. Yes. Yes. Okay, so and the very last thing here at the Land Soundtrack is, of course, like I said in the beginning of the show, and you guys already know about this. This show, great. It's about uplifting and showing great people doing great things like yourself within Connecticut. Great Latinos doing great things for the Latino community in Connecticut, and that's all beautiful. But my biggest thing is the youth. My biggest focus is the youth, for them to understand that they can do anything that they want to do as long as they're willing to work hard. And it doesn't matter. You can come from the suburbs, you can come from the mean streets of New Haven, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do, And so at this time, I just want to get into our advice for the youth. And so what I like to do is I like to kind of take bits and pieces from your story, and that's how I create my advice. And in the meantime, you can probably think about whatever you want to talk about. You're a speaker, though. You're always speaking, so I'm sure you're ready. You got it all.
I don't know.
And so, but I just want to give a little advice to the youth, coming from me, and then we'll give some advice from you, okay? And pretty much what I got from this whole story is that you kind of make up. You make your life. I mean, granted, there's always going to be influences. There's always going to be people out there who are going to try to get you to go a different route, but it really is up to you to make the difference in your own life. And so what really surprised me about this whole story that I haven't really heard too much was when you were saying that you did see those things going on, that you would go to the corner store, that you would go to Wella's house, and you will see these guys hanging out and doing the things that you know were wrong, and your first thought was, what can I do to help? And that just, it really hit me, because I was like, wow, that's crazy. As a young man, as a kid, you were a teenager at the time, you're looking at the kids, and you're not thinking, oh man, these guys are crazy, or oh man, these guys, they know demonio, or they don't have parents. You were just thinking, what can I do to help, And so my advice for the youth today is to look around you, wherever you are, whether you're watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, listening on iTunes, you're at the gym, running a treadmill, whatever you're doing, just take a second, look around you, and think to yourself, what can I do to help in a specific situation? Whatever it is, whether it's your sister who needs help with homework, whether you're walking down the street and somebody drops something, whatever it is, what can you do to help, right? And do that right now as you're listening to this or as you're watching, right? And then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again the next day. And every day of your life, just look around and see what you can do to help, and don't think about it, if I do it, God's gonna bless me, or don't think about that kind of crap. Just think about what can you do to help, because honestly, if we could all look around each other and see what we could do to help, not only help when somebody asks us to, but help when nobody's watching, when it's not expected of you, when even if you're walking down the street and somebody's gate is open, close that gate, because people love their gate. I love my gate closed. I hate when people leave my gate. So even something like that, because people will appreciate. They might not know that you did it, but it's appreciated. So please, guys, my advice to you is look around you and try to find a place, a person, something that you can help with, and just do it on a daily basis, and you'll feel good, and hopefully that'll get you to a better place. That's what I got, bro. Because honestly, like that really it hit me in a kind of way that was kind of weird, because I never really heard from. I mean, granted, you're a man now, but speaking as a younger you were looking around saying, how can I help that situation? I say that all the time, but yo tengo 33 años, I'm 33 years old, But somebody like Gina's age to say, damn, what can I do to help? That's amazing. So for that, I commend you.
Thank you. No, listen, and I agree, and I will just add that, we need young people now more than ever,
yes,
to step up and speak out. Whatever your ideology is, whatever you believe in, whatever your passion is, we just need folks to step up and speak out. And it has to be our young people, right? Every movement in this country, civil rights, gay rights, right, workers' rights,
yes,
it was started by young people. If you think about that, right? It was started by young people. So, you can definitely make a change. You can definitely make a difference. Our history shows that young people have made a difference. Even now with the entire, gun violence movement, the amount of young people that are out there speaking up and speaking out. So I want young people to know, no matter where you are from, where you are going, you can make a difference. You just have to set your mind to it. You have to be committed. You have to work hard. And as I said earlier, surround yourself with positive people. Surrounding yourself with positive people and being committed. And commitment can mean whatever you want it to mean, right? It can be committed to closing that gate every day when you see it open. Or it can be committed to going to your abuela's house and helping with her. Just be committed, stay focused, make a difference, and just recognize that you'll make mistakes along the way.
Yes.
God knows I made more mistakes than I should have growing up. But those mistakes do not define you. You should not allow those mistakes to define you. What defines you is your hard work, your character, those you surround yourself with. Continue to move forward. And I think if that happens with our young people, you, myself, my daughter, the next generation, we'll all be in good hands.
Definitely. Thank you so much for those words. Again, everybody watching on YouTube, on Facebook, again, we do appreciate the support. Please make sure you share this video with your friends and family, so they get kind of see what Joe is all about, what Top Station is all about, what the Last Contract is all about. I do appreciate it. I want to take this time out to give a shout out to some of our partners here. I want to give a shout out to Land Rhythm Dance Studio in Stratford. Give a shout out to Castillo and Sons Cuisine in Stratford as well. Great food in Castillo and Sons. Have you eaten from them? Yes. They're great people, great food. They support this station. So thank you. Shout out to Citywide Church. Great people over at Citywide. And again, if you haven't done so already, please go over to YouTube and subscribe to our page and check us out on iTunes and Google Play. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
I do appreciate it.
Closing out with some Victor Manuel.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next Thursday. Actually, you know what? I won't be here next Thursday, but I'll have more information about that on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.